I am the political prisoner of a failing nation, but I will soon be free on November 5th, the most important day in the history of our country, and we will together make America great again. Thank you. After sitting for 5 weeks through that rigged trial in Lower Manhattan, which was surrounded by vast but unnecessary numbers of New York's finest in order to keep law-abiding MAGA patriots away, and as I watched insignificant numbers of fully funded radical left troublemakers with brand new and gleaming professionally made signs, screaming and cursing from areas said to be close to us and all others, I realized that reason, truth, and love of our country is no longer a force of good and change. These are dark days in America, but we will make America great again. Thank you. A very honest and respected bookkeeper called a legal expense on the tiny description line of a ledger a legal expense, the only thing you could have called it, openly paid to my lawyer, at the time a fully accredited one. So a legal expense was called a legal expense, not a construction expense or an expense for sheetrock or cinder block or an expense for what other people might want to call it. No, legal expense was legal expense. There was nothing wrong. I was not involved in that designation, but what else would you have called it? It was absolutely done correctly. It was, in fact, a legal expense, and that is the so-called crime that you've been reading so much about. On top of that, I wasn't allowed by the judge to use in any form the standard reliance on counsel defense or advice of counsel. My lawyer at the time did virtually everything on the NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which is a very commonly used agreement, very legal. And I assumed that what he did was correct. I did absolutely nothing wrong, and frankly, there was nothing done wrong. NDAs are so standard and so commonly used. And I just say that we are going to end these witch hunts. It has to end. It has to end. But think of it, you rely on a lawyer, and you're allowed to do that, and the judge wouldn't allow that as a defense. It's a standard defense. He wouldn't allow it. If this can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. We have to save our country, and we're going to save our country. We're going to make America great again. Thank you very much, everybody. My civil rights have been totally violated with this highly political, unconstitutional, and election-interfering witch hunt of a trial. Our failing nation is being laughed at all over the world for what's happening. But we're going to go forward, and we're going to make America better than ever before. November 5th is the most important day in the history of our country, and we're going to get out there, we're going to vote like never before, and we're going to also appeal this rigged trial, and we're going to win at the appellate level or in the appeals courts, even if we have to go up to the United States Supreme Court, because everybody knew what a disgraceful sham this was. Thank you very much. We will have victory on November 5th. Save America. That's what we're going to do. Thank you. Large-scale mounting evidence that all of the unprecedented number of lawsuits brought against me, the witch hunt, are conceived of and coordinated by the White House and DOJ and, frankly, crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. Such a disgrace, all done illegally to help crooked Joe fight his political opponent. That happens to be me, but the people are wise to it. We're going to make America great again. November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country. That's when our country is going to turn around. It's going to be something very, very special, and people just can't wait. November 5th, get out and vote. Thank you. Biden's not too old to be president. I know a lot of people that are older than him, and they're at the top of their game. It's not even close. But he is too incompetent, and he is too corrupt. He's the worst president in the history of our country. Thank you. Evan Gershkovich, the reporter for the Wall Street Journal who is being held by Russia, will be released almost immediately after the election, but definitely before I assume office. He will be home. He will be safe. Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, will do that for me, and I don't believe he'll do it for anyone else, and we will be paying nothing. Biden likes to pay massive numbers. We will be paying nothing. Thank you very much. Look at Joe Biden's DOJ in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago, authorized the FBI to use deadly lethal force. Can you believe that? Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is indeed a big threat, not me. They'd like to have the world, through their misinformation machine, think I'm the threat. No, they're the threat. He is mentally unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment, anybody? Joe Biden does not want RFK Jr. in the debates because Jr. is far left of him, and they would be debating over the same territory like ridiculous open borders and the Green New Scam, both of which are killing our country, but they love both of them. He's also sharper and far more intelligent than Joe, all making for a bad combination of ingredients. I don't care if Junior joins the debate, but right now his polling numbers are absolutely terrible. He's not properly qualified in the states, and he seems to be on a downward path. Junior needs more than his name to get on that stage, but if he gets on there, I would love it. Thank you to the great people of the Bronx for coming out and showing your support. It's a special place. I always said the Bronx is special. I know it well. Our rally was historic with over 25,000 people at Crotona Park. Even fake news CNN was forced to admit that our crowd size totally shocked them. They were shocked. Everybody was shocked, except maybe me and the people that were there. Together, we're part of the greatest political movement in the history of our country, and we are building a vibrant coalition of Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. The Democrats, if you're black, if you're Hispanic, they've let you down. They use you during elections. They're only good a few weeks before the election, and then they go back to their ways. They give you nothing. We're going through some tough times as a country. We're a nation in decline, but the love that I saw that day was incredible. So I really enjoyed being in the Bronx with you, and we'll be back a lot of times because I love the people. I love the people of our country. I love the people that are in the Bronx. I really had a good time that day, and it was the talk of the world. I can't wait to bring our message to other Democrat-run cities that are falling apart, like Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, so many other places. But I'll see you all soon. This November, we're going to make America great again for all Americans, every single American. We're going to make America great again. Thank you very much for your support. Look at Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country by far, has totally surrendered our southern border. His weakness and extremism have resulted in a border invasion like we have never seen before. Other countries have emptied out their prisons, insane asylums, and mental institutions and sent us drug dealers, human traffickers, and terrorists. Millions of people have poured into our country, and now, after nearly 4 years of his failed, weak leadership, pathetic leadership, crooked Joe Biden is pretending to finally do something about the border. But in fact, it's all about show because he knows we have a debate coming up in 3 weeks. The truth is that Joe Biden's executive order won't stop the invasion. It's weak and it's pathetic. It will actually make the invasion worse. Millions of people a year will continue to pour across our border and be released into our country. And we recently learned Biden is secretly granting mass amnesty to hundreds of thousands of these illegal aliens, along with welfare, government benefits, work permits, and jobs. He's not doing that, however, for our veterans. He's not doing that for our homeless. He's giving illegal aliens far more than our veterans get, far more than our homeless get. Many of the left are even pushing for illegal aliens to vote in our elections, which is what this is all about. That's why they're allowing up to 20 million people since he took office. When I was president, we built over 500 miles of border wall, stopped the flood of criminals, and we had the safest border in the history of our country. We need to secure our border once again. We need to secure our border once and for all. Crooked Joe will never get the job done. He doesn't want to get the job done. It's just words and misinformation because he could have done it very easily. All he had to do is say, close the border. That's the power of the presidency. But when I'm elected, it will be my top priority. On day one, I will seal the border, stop the invasion, and send Joe Biden's illegal aliens back home. They have to be sent back home because no country can sustain the damage that our country is sustaining. All over the world, crime rates are going down because all over the world, not just South America, They're sending criminals into the United States of America. They're taking their drug dealers and their people in jail, lots of people in jail. They're taking their murderers, their killers, they're taking them all and they're sending them into the United States. In Venezuela, crime is down a staggering 67%. We're not going to let it continue. We're going to get them out. We're going to bring our country back to safety. We're going to make America great again, greater than ever before. Thank you very much.